at about 1 o'clock. It can also wear through the animal's skin, injuring it badly, or it can exhaust the animal, killing it that way. Now, there is a group of scientists based in Provincetown, Massachusetts, called the Center for Coastal Studies, and they work to disentangle these animals when they get word. However, the work they do is dangerous and is definitely not a solution to our problem. Actually, I can tell you right now that from looking at our catalog of the over 2,000 individually named humpback whales at the Whale Center of New England, at least 70% of them show scars from being previously entangled. And every year we do lose whales to these entanglements. Now, unfortunately, that's not even the biggest problem that these whales face. Right now, we believe the biggest problem that they face is human pollution. Red tide is a naturally occurring phenomenon, but we do know that it does increase in occurrence with human pollution. If we ever become complacent about the sightings of our whales, we're always getting sobering reminders, like in December of 1987. That December we lost at least 20 whales, and that's only the number that we know of. We have no idea how many died and washed out to sea. And there's Mom at the surface. Those whales died because they ate mackerel with red tide poisoning. Now, red tide is a paralytic poison and neurotoxin known as saxitoxin. It paralyzes all mammals, these whales including you and I. So when those whales ate that mackerel, they became paralyzed and couldn't get to the surface to breathe. Now, since these whales eat so much, so when something like red tide makes its way into our offshore food chain, they're the first ones to pay the price. PCBs, DDT, and heavy metals are seen in levels in whales like in no other animal. There's actually a population of orcas in the Pacific Northwest that's so heavily contaminated each whale is legally classified as a toxic waste dump. Now, that's even a problem for this mom and calf that we're looking at. As I said, the mother makes her milk from the breakdown of her blubber layer, but that's also where she stores any toxins. So any toxins that this mom takes in this summer will be passed on to the calf in the form of her milk. Now, at the Whale Center of New England, we do believe that the first step to conservation is education. So hopefully you can take a few of the things I've told you today and some of the pictures you've taken and take them back and tell your friends and family just how amazing these animals are and how important Stellwag and Bank is to them. Now, if you would like to help us with our research, as I said earlier on, we are not up, and there's Mom switching directions. I'm starting to feed, it looks like, a little bit. So again, you did just see her slam her tail down on the surface of the water. If she is a kick feeder, that's the way she starts to feed. She'll slam her tail down, and there's the calf up, blow some bubbles beneath the surface, and then scare the fish up against the surface in a tight ball, and then she can come with her mouth wide open and swallow all those fish whole. And you see those bubbles coming up, and a great-looking mom with that wide-open mouth.
Oh, cool.
She's just got a huge mouthful of water and fish. And you see all those bubbles still coming up behind her.
Wow.
Right now, she's just letting all of the water drain out through her baleen. As I said earlier, she doesn't drink any of the salt water. Now, the calf's not feeding, as I said. The calf's only nursing from its mom's milk, but it's definitely getting lessons from Mom on how to kick its tail, how to blow those bubbles. And that was an amazing look you just saw at Mom doing a feeding bout. So again, she did kick her tail. That's something that only about 60% of the whales in this population do. As I was saying, the Whale Center is a non-profit organization, but if you would like to help us with our research, I do have a few programs to offer you. As I said, I have been taking a number of photos up here today. Oh, and a great look at Mom comes back up to the surface.
Oh my God, that was, oh my God.
Getting ready to feed again.
Oh, cool.
You guys are going to get another great look at her. She's going to start to blow these bubbles up, and you can see the calf charging around just beneath the surface.
Should it come up?
So get your cameras ready for Mom to come up right where she just kicked. You can see the bubbles starting to come up to the surface, all that teal green.
Yeah, there she is.
Great looking Mom.
Oh, cool. Oh my God. Oh wow. Look at that.
And what an amazing look you guys are just up, and the calf's just here at about 3 o'clock, gonna come up.
Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, cool. Oh my god. See, there's...
So again, another great look you guys just saw at the mom feeding again. Now, kick feeding is a very interesting behavior. We actually never saw it until 1980. Prior to 1980, these whales used to feed on herring on Stellwagen Bank. And then in 1979, all the herring crashed. It was fished out of this area completely. That's when the whales switched from feeding on herring to feeding on sand lambs. And that's when we saw this kick feeding behavior start. So we never saw it prior to 1980. It was actually started by a whale named Molson, and she still kick feeds today. Coming up just next to us at 9 o'clock. Get ready for the kick.
Oh my god, cool! Isn't it cool?
And you can see the calf going away from the bubble cloud just on the other side. So right now, Mom's beneath the surface blowing those bubbles, scaring the fish into a ball. You can see the bubbles starting to come up. The birds are actually trying to feed on the same fish. That's great look as she comes up.
Oh, cool! Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
And here comes the calf as well. Gonna get a great look at that calf. And look at those flippers flared out, and a great look at that head thrust as the mom gets ready to go down on a dive.
Oh, that is crazy. The calf staying up. Look, look, look.
So another great look at Mom. As I said, these birds are trying to feed on the same fish that the whales are feeding on. So the mom scares all the fish up to the surface, and then the birds can come down and try to get a little bit easier meal. Now, as I was saying, Molson was the first ever kick feeder that we saw, and we have seen her back this summer kick feeding still, and it actually spread to about 60% of the whales in this population. Now, there are still, and a great look at Mom getting ready to feed again. So again, Mom comes up, and then you see the calf doing a little bit of a corkscrew on its way down. Again, taking lessons from Mom on how to do all these behaviors.
Ahora sale otra vez ahí. Puedes darle al zoom si quieres.
So for whatever reason, Mom decided not to use that last kicking spot, so she did just do it again. We'll see if she uses this one. Up, and she is looking like she's going to use this one. You see the new bubbles coming up. Again, 1,000 gallons of water in that mouthful she's got right now. Great look at the stovepost on the top of her head. And there's the calf that just cut her off completely. And a great look at the calf as it just turned over on its side. Mom's going down, calf's going down. And we do have other whales starting to make their way into the area. Another herd coming in, so we'll see what that turns out to be. Now, as I said, these whales do need to eat a lot of fish, and that's why we don't see them associated very often. Now, just because there's multiple whales in the area feeding on the same fish doesn't necessarily mean that they're feeding together. Sometimes we do see whales feeding together. Sometimes we just see multiple whales in the area feeding on the same fish. Now, as I said, that kick feeding behavior has spread to about 60% of the whales in this population. Not something that necessarily passes from mom to calf, more something that